Hey y'all, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. So, you want to learn how to protect yourself spiritually. Well, first, it begins in the mind. The mind is all, the universe is mental. The power of the mind is your biggest defense against spiritual attack. Your belief expands your reality. So if you believe that you are susceptible to spiritual attack, then you will be. If you believe that you are protected by the Most High, then you will be. What you believe, the stories that we tell ourselves dictate our reality. It's important to remember that we wrestle not against flesh and blood. That's Ephesians chapter 6. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but spirits, principalities, and the verse goes on and on. And I say that to say this: spirits are simply thought forms. And that's the best way to understand how the spiritual realm is working on this material plane, because they're uniquely intertwined. And as we continue to move on, I can't believe we're in 2024 already, but like as time continues to go on, this truth will become known to the masses, that spirits are thought forms. And it's important that, you know, everybody's talking about energies and vibrations and all these things now. So it's beautiful to see how the consciousness of the masses are shifting. And it's important that we understand this knowledge, that we understand, that we overstand this knowledge, that we embed it into our daily lives, this knowing, right? Knowing that spirits are just thought forms, we have to first understand the power of the mind to protect ourselves against spiritual attacks. Next is to stay in alignment with God. Stay in alignment with God. Stay in alignment with God. You have to hold yourself accountable for your actions. There's a video with Pablo Skywalking, and he's like, if you didn't pray this morning, that's why your life fucked up. And that's real shit. Because if you're not remaining in prayer, if you're not remaining in constant contact with God, that is 100% what leaves you open to spiritual attack. That's 100% what leaves you open to psychic attack. Your defenses are low. You know, being one with your creator replenishes your soul, replenishes your spirit. It keeps your energy high so that you're able to fight against any thought form that enters your field and tries to knock you off your course. Stay in alignment with God. Keep your mind, body, and spirit in a state of harmony and balance. Keep your mind, body, and spirit in a state of harmony and balance. What does that mean? Pay attention to the things that you're feeding your mind. What did you watch today? What did you listen to? Who did you talk to? What thoughts were they sharing with you? What words did they transmit to you? How did you pick up on that energy, and how did you cleanse that energy off of you, or just like integrate it within you? How did you let that energy dissipate if it needed to dissipate? You have to keep your mind, body, and spirit in a state of harmony and balance. You have to protect your mind. A lot of the songs that are out are sending spiritual attacks and sending psychic attacks, and they're sending thoughts and feelings that are keeping you in a low vibration or in a state of being where you feel like you're being spiritually attacked. If you're not feeding your body the right foods, if you're not, because the food thing, like I could really go in, because I honestly, holistic health is something that I'm extremely passionate about. And the food thing I could go in with, but I'm not even gonna go there. But like, if you're not eating foods that are nourishing you on a cellular level, you're leaving yourself susceptible to attack. When you're not nurturing your body and giving yourself the nutrients that you need, you are going to feel hungry, your head is gonna start hurting, your muscles will feel weak. If your body is weak and you cannot defend yourself physically, how do you feel like you can defend yourself spiritually? Mind, body, and spirit work in unison. You have to protect your mind. You have to feed, nourish, and strengthen your body. You have to work out. If the gym isn't your thing, if yoga isn't your thing, you have to find some way to stay physically active and to keep all of your muscles moving. Because that's literally what's going to protect you. You have to keep your muscles moving. You have to like that's protection in and of itself. And your spirit, keep your mind, body, and spirit in a state of harmony and balance. How do you feed your spirit? How do you feed your spirit? How do you feed your spirit? Are the things that you're feeding your mind also feeding your spirit or diminishing your spirit? Are the things that you're feeding your body also feeding and nourishing your spirit or diminishing your spirit? Do you know that, do you know what spiritually feeds you? Because there's times I'll stop so I can listen to a sermon, or I'll listen to somebody on YouTube. And when I'm listening, I'll remark to myself that's good food. And though I'm not physically eating anything, I could feel my spirit being fed and being nurtured and being nourished through the information that I'm giving it. So how do you take care of your mind, body, and spirit? In order to protect yourself spiritually, you have to keep your mind, body, and spirit in a state of harmony and balance. Last but not least, most spiritual attacks are of the mind. So one of the ways that we can protect our mind, I'm not talking about candles, crystals, all these things. If you use those to spiritually protect yourself, that's amazing. However, we're moving forward in our state of consciousness and our state of evolution. And it's all about the power of the mind in this age of Aquarius. So once you have your mind on lock and you have garnered, I don't know if I'm using the right word, but if you've gotten your mind to a specific state of thinking, in a state of feeling, in a state of being, you won't ever feel like you're being spiritually attacked, because you'll know that your mind is constantly being fed. Your mind is constantly focused on your creator, focused on what you're creating. Your mind is focused so much so on the blessings and the goodness of this life and the beauty in this world. You've shifted your state of consciousness, your state of mind, because of what you're feeding your mind, because of what you're feeding your body, because of what you're feeding your spirit. So you won't have to necessarily, you can use your candles to do abundance and prosperity spells and meditations. You won't have to focus so much on protection. You won't have to cut no chickens' heads off for protection. You won't have to wear 1,000 crystals for protection. But if that's your swag, that's your swag. I like wearing crystals too. I think it, it's cool. I like how it makes me feel. But first and foremost, if you don't have your mind together, it doesn't matter how many crystals you put on. Okay, so I wanted to just make that clear. One thing I use to really protect myself spiritually and to make sure I'm staying in alignment with my creator, make sure I'm staying in alignment with my mission, make sure I'm staying focused on my purpose, is the Bible. This is what I grew up with. And if you're here, you probably grew up with it too. I grew up with the Bible. I grew up with aunties, with my mom, saying Psalms all day long. I learned the Lord's Prayer before I was 10 years old. I learned Psalm 23, Psalm 91 before I was 10 years old. And I had to retrain myself with this new state of consciousness and with the world that we're in. I had to teach myself a lot of things in order to use these verses and this knowledge to work to my benefit. And it was always for my benefit, but if you don't know the power behind something and you're using it, it's just another thing to you. So 2 Psalms that I say every single morning, all day, sometimes multiple times a day. When I first wake up, when I go to sleep, Psalm 23 and Psalm 91. Psalm 23 to me is a psalm of restoration. I literally feel it restoring my soul, and it says that in the psalm. And there's times when I'm at the park and I'm walking next to quiet waters, and Psalm 23 just comes to my mind, and I feel the energy. I feel God's presence surrounding me. That psalm puts me into alignment. Verse 4 and 5 specifically states, "Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me." God is with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. They protect me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup runneth over. My cup overflows. Such a beautiful, surely goodness and mercy will follow me all the days of my life. Thank you to the Most High. Psalm 23 to help you stay into alignment and to help you stay protected. Even though you walk through the valley of the shadow of death, there is darkness on this earth plane, but I can walk through the darkness because I know God is with me. Because I'm reciting this day in and day out, because I'm taking care of myself in a way that keeps me in alignment with the Most High. I'm not just repeating these things day in and day out. I'm living by them, but having them in my mind and having my mind being able to reference this automatically removes any energy of fear that may be on me. Psalm 27 verse 3, I have it up in my room, and I'm thinking about clipping the few verses that I have around here into this video. But Psalm 27 verse 3 says that though an army encamp against me, my heart shall not fear. Though war rise against me, I will not be afraid. And other versions of the verse said, I will be confident. And I love that. It's just like having confidence, having surety, no matter what situation I'm in, who I'm with, what's going on around me. I know that I don't need to be afraid. I know that I don't need to be scared. I know that I don't have to move out of balance of who I am. I don't have to step into another energy. I can stay in this energy of confidence, of assuredness that God is with me, that no matter what's coming against me, I'll be able to overcome it. Psalm 27 is a psalm of victory, and I love Psalm 27. Psalm 91, like I said, every morning I say Psalm 23 and Psalm 91. Psalm 91 is a verse for protection. It's long. I've memorized the whole thing. I'm not going to do it on camera just because I don't feel like it. But it is a verse, it is a psalm, whatever. It's a psalm for protection. All the verses in that psalm are ones that speak to protection. Yeah, so it's beautiful. Check out Psalm 91 when you get the chance. Also put Psalm 37 here and Psalm 9 here. There's a whole book. I haven't bought it yet. I mean, I have a Bible, but you can buy The Power of Psalms. It's a book. They sell it on Amazon, and a lot of people use it for different spiritual practices, because Psalms are literally hymns. They're poems, they're songs written by David, one of God's greatest kings. And if you know the story of the Bible and of Christ actually came from the lineage of David. So it's beautiful to see how these people were used and how they're literally still being used to help us now. One last verse I have here is 2 Timothy 1 verse 7. It says, God gave us not a spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and of sound mind. So staying in alignment with your Creator, staying in alignment with God, keeping your mind, body, and spirit in a state of harmony and balance, holding yourself accountable for your actions. If you know that you're not praying, don't wonder why your day or your life is fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Just start praying, Hold yourself accountable for your actions. Realize the power of your mind. Listen to the stories that you're telling yourself. What do you believe, and how is that belief expanding or limiting your reality? And then remember, the spirit that God has imparted in you is the spirit of power, a love, truth. Some versions say truth, some versions say sound mind, which means that, again, spiritual attacks are of the mind. So these are the things that leave people in a state of psychosis, in a state of fear. When you're in those states of being, your mind is not sound. So that's not of God. So what do you need to do first and foremost to eliminate those feelings? Get into alignment with your Creator. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think.